Have you ever sat in a quiet room looking out the window watching the sun dip behind the trees and just wished the phone would ring? Not because something's wrong. Not because someone needs something. Just to hear a familiar voice. Your child's voice. It's funny, isn't it? You raise them. You hold them when they cry. You work late, skip vacations, save every penny just to give them a good life. And then one day they're grown. They've got careers, families, lives filled to the brim with responsibility. And you're still here. You're proud, of course you are. But there's a quiet space in your heart that no one else can fill. Not a friend, not a neighbor, not even a hobby. That space belongs to your children. Now, I'm not saying life isn't good. There are peaceful mornings, a warm cup of tea, maybe even a garden to tend or a friend to chat with. But when you reach 80, or even just get close, you start to realize something very clearly. You don't need more stuff. You don't need fancy dinners, new gadgets, or even more doctor visits. What you want, more than anything, is time. Time with your children. Not time where they're rushing in, half distracted, answering emails while you're trying to tell a story. Not time where they drop something off and say, "Sorry, Mom, I can't stay long." You want real time. The kind where they sit down, look you in the eye, and really see you. The kind of time where laughter lingers, stories unfold, and you remember, together, what it feels like to simply be a family. And it's not about needing help. You might still be cooking your own meals, doing your own laundry, living independently. You're not looking for a caretaker. You're looking for connection. Because something shifts as we age. The urgency of building careers, collecting achievements, impressing people, it all fades. And what's left is what really matters: love, presence, relationships. You see, when you're young, you chase time. You try to stretch every hour, get more done, run faster, climb higher. But when you're 80, you feel time. Every hour means something. Every visit is a gift. Every conversation could be the last of its kind. And you start to treasure the little things. Hearing your child's laughter, seeing their face light up when they talk about something they love, feeling their hand in yours, not because you're weak, but because you're still their parent, and you always will be. But here's something we don't talk about enough. Your children don't always realize how much you miss them. Not because they don't care, but because life pulls them in every direction. They assume you're fine, that you're busy too, that you've got your friends, your routine. They tell themselves, "I'll call tomorrow," or "we'll visit next weekend," and somehow, time just keeps slipping by. That's why today I want to talk with you, not just about what you feel, but about what you can do. Because you still have a voice. And sometimes, all it takes is a gentle nudge, a quiet reminder, an honest conversation that comes not from guilt, but from love. Start simple. If you haven't already, tell them. Not in a dramatic way. Not in a tearful plea. Just in your calm, warm way. The same way you used to tell them bedtime stories. Say something like, "You know, I don't need much these days. But hearing your voice or seeing you now and then, that means the world to me." Sometimes they need to hear it out loud. Because when we don't say it, they think we're okay with the distance. That we're content. But connection doesn't mean needing help. It means wanting them. Their company. Their stories. Maybe they live far away. Maybe their job keeps them glued to a screen all day. Maybe the grandkids have soccer games, dance recitals, and homework. But there are still ways to connect. A video call on Sunday mornings. A handwritten letter. Yes, people still write those. Or just 20 minutes of their voice, telling you how their week went. And if you're lucky enough to live close by, invite them over. Not for a big production, just for coffee, or soup, or to sit on the porch and listen to the wind. Don't wait for holidays. Don't wait for birthdays. Ordinary days are the most beautiful when they're shared. It's not selfish to want your children's time. It's human. And if you've spent your life giving love, it's okay to want love returned. Not in money, not in gifts, but in presence. In those small, everyday moments that make you feel like you still belong in their world. And let's not forget, you're still teaching them. Even now. You're teaching them what matters. You're showing them how to slow down, how to value people over productivity, how to love out loud. One day, they'll be where you are. And they'll remember how you lived, how you loved, how you reached out and said, "You matter to me." Just having you near is enough. So let's hold on to that. Let's speak from the heart. Let's make space for the moments that truly matter. Because at 80, you know something younger folks often forget? Time doesn't wait. But love lingers when we give it room to grow. You know, there's something beautifully simple about getting older. Not easy, but simple. You begin to see clearly what actually counts. The noise fades. The opinions of strangers, the busyness, the things you used to stress over, they don't hold the same weight. But the quiet moments with the people you love, they start to mean everything. Sometimes I think, if our children could just sit in our shoes for one quiet afternoon, they'd understand. Not just with their heads, but with their hearts. They'd realize that it's not about them doing more, it's about them being there. Just being there. And the truth is, we don't need hours and hours every week. We just need a little time that's real. Time where they're not half listening or checking their phones. Time where they say, "How are you doing?" and wait for the answer. Time where they don't rush us when we tell the same story for the second or third time, because they know it's not about the story. It's about the connection behind it. The hard part is, we come from a generation that didn't talk about feelings much. We were taught to be strong, keep things to ourselves, push through. So when we miss someone or feel forgotten, we tend to keep it in. We say we're fine. We say we're busy too. We don't want to be a burden. But love isn't a burden. Longing for connection isn't weakness. And needing someone's time doesn't make you needy, it makes you human. Now, I know some of you watching this might feel a little lonely. Not just alone in the house, but lonely in your heart. You smile when your neighbor waves, you laugh with the clerk at the store, but deep down, you miss your people. You miss the ones who know you best. And if you've got more than one child, maybe there's one you haven't heard from in a while. Maybe there was a disagreement, or maybe life just drifted you apart. I want to remind you, no matter how long it's been, it's never too late to reach out. A short note, a voicemail, a photo in the mail with a simple "thinking of you," these things carry more weight than we realize. And if they don't respond right away, don't take it as rejection. Take it as a seed planted. Sometimes people need time. Life gets noisy, and it's easy for them to forget how much a few minutes of their day could mean to you. But here's the beautiful part. You don't have to wait for your children to change their schedule before you feel joy again. There's power in taking the first step. Power in creating little rituals that bring you peace, even when the house is quiet. Maybe you keep a notebook where you write them little letters, ones you may or may not ever send. Or maybe you start a memory box, where you tuck away moments you're proud of, things you'd want your children to remember when they're your age. And sometimes, the best way to invite someone back into your life is to make space for their return. When they do visit, whether it's once a week or once in a blue moon, let that time be warm, not weighed down with guilt or frustration. They may already feel bad for not coming sooner. What they need isn't a lecture. They need to feel missed, not shamed. They need to feel welcome. Let them know that just sitting next to you for a while means more than any expensive gift ever could. And if they bring the grandkids, even better. Let the house be loud. Let the toys be everywhere. Let the noise replace the silence for a little while. I've found that the more we speak from love, the more people listen. Especially our children. Sometimes they're just waiting for permission to slow down, to come home, to sit with us without any agenda. And here's something you might not expect. Your presence in their lives matters just as much. When you listen to their struggles, encourage their dreams, or just laugh with them about something silly, you remind them that they're still someone's child. And in this world where everyone is told to grow up fast and stay strong, being reminded you're someone's child is healing. It's not just about you receiving time, it's about you giving your wisdom, your love, your steadiness. They might not always show it, but your voice is still a compass for them. Even if they've got gray hair of their own now. And if your children are already doing their best, calling, visiting, loving you in their own way, take a moment to appreciate that. Let them know it means the world to you. Because everyone, even grown-ups, needs to feel appreciated. Now, I know every family is different. Some of you may have lost a child. Some may feel like your kids will never come around. And my heart is with you, truly. But even in those moments, you're not alone. There are others out there, friends, neighbors, even strangers, who need the kind of love you still have to give. Sometimes, showing care to someone else's child brings the very healing your own heart needs. Because love doesn't run out. Time doesn't stop because of our age. And even at 80, 85, 90, our hearts are still wide open. So don't give up on connection. Don't settle for silence. Whether you whisper it in a letter, speak it in a call, or show it in your presence, let your children know you're not asking for the world. You're just asking for a little of their time, a little of their heart, a little piece of their busy lives to remind you you're still deeply loved. You know, when I look back over the years, it's never the big things that stay with me. Not the parties, not the fancy gifts, not the milestones even. It's the small, quiet moments. The way my child would hold my hand walking across the street. The times we sat on the couch and didn't say much, just listened to the rain. The days when they came home and told me about their world, wide-eyed and full of stories. Those are the moments I hold on to like treasures. They're not loud, but they echo. And now, at this age, I find myself craving that same simplicity again. Not because I'm bored or lonely, but because I know how rare and beautiful those moments are. And if I could ask for one thing at this point in life, it wouldn't be riches or perfect health or a trip around the world. It would just be time with the people I love most. There's something sacred about time. We used to think we had so much of it, didn't we? We gave it away without thinking. First, we said, maybe next weekend, or we'll catch up soon. But now, each hour feels more precious than gold. And not because we're afraid of running out of it, but because we've finally learned what to do with it. I think our children sometimes forget that. Not out of malice, not even neglect. Life just gets busy. They have jobs, responsibilities, maybe kids of their own now. They're chasing what we once chased: security, purpose, maybe even success. And we understand that because we were there once too. But the danger is, if they don't pause once in a while, they'll look back one day and realize they missed the best parts. I don't want my children to have regrets. I don't want them to say, I wish I had spent more time with mom, or I should have called dad more often. Regret is a heavy thing. And if they understood now just how much we treasure their voice, their visit, their attention, they might not wait so long between calls. That's why it's so important when we do get those precious moments together, to be fully present. To turn off the television, to put away the phone, to look each other in the eyes and really be there. Because those minutes, those ordinary, everyday minutes, are the ones they'll remember when we're no longer sitting across from them. Sometimes when one of my children visits, they apologize. They say, sorry it's been so long, or I wish I had more time. And I always tell them the same thing: you're here now, and that's enough. But in my heart, I still wish they'd come more often. Not because I need them to take care of me, but because I still love hearing their voice. I still want to know about their life, their worries, their wins. I still want to be part of their story, even if only for a short chapter now and then. And you know, as parents, we never stop parenting. Even at 80 or beyond, we still want to protect them, guide them, lift them up. But it's different now. We're not trying to solve their problems. We're just trying to remind them they're loved. They're enough. They still matter deeply. That kind of reassurance, it doesn't come from lectures or advice. It comes from presence. From shared meals, from laughter, from just sitting side by side without needing to fill every silence. The older I get, the more I realize being present is the gift. And for those of you watching who feel like your family has drifted, let me gently say, don't give up. Relationships can be mended. Hearts can be softened. Sometimes it takes just one call, one letter, one gesture to reopen a door that's been closed for years. If your child carries resentment, meet it with grace. If there's pain between you, meet it with patience. The time we have now isn't for holding grudges. It's for healing, for remembering, for cherishing the time that's left. And to our children, if any of you are watching this, please know, we don't expect you to be perfect. We don't want to add stress to your already full lives. We just want to be included. A phone call on your lunch break, a quick visit on a Sunday, a photo or text that says, I'm thinking of you. These small things are the biggest gifts. Because when you give us your time, even for a little while, you're telling us, you still matter to me. I still see you. I still love you. And that is everything. So here we are, in this season of life where time moves a little slower, but feels more meaningful than ever. The days may not be as busy, but they are still deeply alive. There's still room for joy, for connection, for laughter. And as long as we're here, we'll keep hoping, for visits, for calls, for hugs that last just a little longer than they used to. Because at 80, what we want most isn't complicated. It's not expensive. It's not out of reach. It's just time. Time with our children. Time to sit and talk. Time to feel like we still belong in their lives. And that kind of time, that kind of love, it lasts far beyond anything else we leave behind. It's funny, isn't it? You spend your younger years building a life, chasing dreams, raising kids, making ends meet. You think the reward for all that hard work will be peace, maybe some comfort, and a little rest once you're older. And in many ways, that's true. But what no one tells you is that the greatest reward, the thing your heart quietly longs for, is to still feel connected to the people you love most. We don't want to be put on a shelf like a keepsake. We want to be part of the present, not just the past. We want to be remembered, yes, but even more than that, we want to be included while we're still here. That's the thing about growing older. The body slows down, the days can get quieter, and yes, sometimes the phone doesn't ring for a while. But the heart keeps hoping. It keeps reaching. It keeps loving as fiercely as ever. Maybe even more so, because we've seen how fast it all goes. At this age, we understand time in a different way. We're no longer counting birthdays, we're treasuring moments. Not the big ones, the everyday ones. The sound of a familiar voice. The warmth of a hand in ours. A shared laugh over something silly. The sight of our child walking through the front door, bringing with them not just their presence, but their care, their attention, their love. And let me say something to the children, the grown sons and daughters out there. I know life is heavy sometimes. You've got work, kids, bills, pressures we never had to face in quite the same way. I know you're doing your best. And we're proud of you. Truly. We've watched you grow into your own lives, and we wouldn't want to take that from you. All we're asking is to walk beside you now and then. To be remembered in the middle of all that busyness. To hear your voice not because something's wrong, but just because you thought of us. It's not about how often you visit. It's about how present you are when you do. Even a 20-minute chat over tea, with your phone face down and your heart fully there, can mean more than hours spent distracted. We don't need your schedule, we just need your presence. That's the real currency at this stage in life. We also understand that sometimes there are wounds in families. Things unsaid, moments missed, misunderstandings that grew into silence. And maybe, for some of us, that silence has lasted years. But here's what I've learned. It's never too late to make room again. Even if you haven't spoken in a while. Even if there's hurt. Even if you're not sure what to say. Just show up. Say, hi. Say, I've been thinking about you. That's enough to start again. Because deep down, we're not asking for an apology tour or grand gestures. We just want to know we still matter to you. Forgiveness has a funny way of softening time. Of melting away the walls we built to protect ourselves. And when someone you love walks through your door again, you realize none of the old anger was worth holding on to. Not if it cost you time together. Not if it kept you apart when all you really wanted was to sit at the same table again. And to those of you watching who feel forgotten, who haven't heard from your kids in a while, let me gently say this. Don't close your heart. Keep it open. Reach out when you can. Write a note. Send a message. Plant the seed, even if you're not sure they'll respond. Sometimes the door we think is shut is only waiting for a knock. It's easy to feel invisible in this stage of life. To feel like the world has moved on without us. But I promise you, your story still matters. Your wisdom, your love, your presence, it all still has deep value. Sometimes we just need to remind our families of that, not through guilt or pressure, but with open arms and soft words. Tell them you miss them. Tell them you love hearing about their day. Share a story from the past, not to hold on to it, but to invite them into your world again. Because connection isn't just something we long for, it's something we can create even now. And if your children are watching this with you, or hear about it later, maybe they'll realize something we've known for a long time. That time is the one thing we can't buy, borrow, or save up. It only moves forward. And the time we spend with those we love, those are the moments that shape the soul. So, to every child with an aging parent, call them. Visit them. Ask them about their childhood. Sit quietly beside them. Let them know their life still has meaning in yours. And to every parent, grandparent, and elder watching, your love is still powerful. Your presence is still a gift. Even when the body aches and the days feel long, the heart remains young when it's filled with love. And love, at the end of the day, is really what we're all here for. It's not the years that define our lives, it's the moments we share with those who matter most. So, let's make those moments count. Let's say what we need to say. Let's show up for each other. Because at 80, or any age really, what we want most isn't more things. It's more time with the people we love. And that is the greatest gift of all. If this message touched your heart, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Leave a comment below. I'd love to know your thoughts, your memories, your hopes. And if you'd like to hear more conversations like this, don't forget to like and subscribe. We're in this beautiful journey together, and there's still so much more to share. Here's to love. Here's to presence. And here's to the time we still have. May we use it well.